with disaster capitalism. So what is disaster capitalism? So my definition, so these are my own words. Disaster capitalism is when there's a crisis or a disaster, rich people, they just try to make more money because they're opportunistic. So let me give you an example from the movie Trading Places. So this is a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about.
Some globetrotter shit with it in, right? Okay, you want mellow lemon shit, right? That's a cheap vase, man. That was a fake, right?
I think we paid $35,000 for it. But I seem to remember we estimated its value at $50,000 for the insurance company. You see, Mortimer, William has already made us a profit of $15,000.
So basically, just simply put, a disaster happens and rich people, they come in and they see an opportunity to make money. Now let me tell you about Naomi Klein. So Klein is a professor at the University of British Columbia, and she wrote a book called The Shock Doctrine. So her book, it was about disaster capitalism. Her definition and her perspective about disaster capitalism, it's somewhat different than mine. However, I agree with a lot of her concepts. So let me give you the gist of what Klein is talking about. So Klein gave a real life example. In 2004, we had the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. So this disaster, it killed 230,000 people, and millions of people, they lost everything. So this was the biggest disaster in modern history. Klein pointed out that local residents, farmers, and small business owners, they were forced to evacuate out. However, at the same time, big developers, they were coming in and they were building resorts and they were building their own businesses. So Klein says that disaster capitalism, that's when there's a destabilizing event and private interests, they come in to reconstruct to their benefit. So it's basically a disaster and then they build back better, basically in a way that benefits them. So that's how she put it. My definition, I guess it's not as eloquent. My definition is that rich people, they just try to make more money when something goes bad. So the wealth transfer, that occurs when the rich people, they just try to get more money from the everyday people. I don't know about you, but this sounds pretty straightforward to me. So you don't have to be rich. So you do not have to be rich to apply this concept of disaster capitalism. The only difference is that the rich people, they have more money to work with. So I'm going to give you some examples. If there's a housing bubble and the housing bubble pops, then what do? You buy property. If the stock market crashes, so if everybody is saying sell, 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 and there's a fire sale, then what do? You buy stocks. When a pandemic happens, how do you make money? How do you get rich off that? You get the Federal Reserve to print an excessive amount of money and pump up financial assets, which are owned mostly by rich people. So there's an opportunity in disaster. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that you get it. This is where people, they go one step further. They get creative and they come up with conspiracy theories. So for example, the Great Reset. So what is the Great Reset? The Great Reset is a theory that there's an elite group of politicians and capitalists, and they're trying to establish this whole new world order. It's basically a big socialist government. So every year, the World Economic Forum, they have a meeting. This is attended by an elite group of politicians, rich business leaders, and powerful executives in media companies. So this exclusive group, they get together to talk about international agenda. So they meet at a ski resort in the Swiss Alps. So, I mean, this sounds perfect for a conspiracy theory, right? So take a look at these video clips and, you can see for yourself what I'm talking about.
We have a golden opportunity to seize something good from this crisis. Its unprecedented shockwaves may well make people more receptive to big visions of change.
What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
After watching those video clips, I wouldn't blame you for being suspicious about a conspiracy theory. So the World Economic